All right, let's see. I'm just gonna give a few minutes to people to join because I'm a little early.
Yeah.
But hopefully you guys had a good day today. I think it was fairly easy to trade when I read the notes. When I post the notes for you guys, actually I go back the next day and I kind of read it to make sure it made sense. I did read it. I sometimes ask my wife to actually read it for me, see if it makes sense. Of course it doesn't, in terms of technical stuff, right? But when you compare levels and you see everything that played out, I think it pretty much played to a T. Just because we said multiple times that you're looking for a break above, look for failures to short. And I would say we
Yeah.
had a lot of those opportunities today, actually.
Yeah.
They gave you a handful of those where you could have, you broke above and then you failed.
Yeah.
So I think that was good, right? That was easier to trade. I wouldn't say it was a convincing win for the Bulls today, but they did manage to do something today. What is that?
They they closed above the POC.
Well, what about breaking a higher
Breakbeat.
high? Remember that?
Yeah,
41.95.
they broke a higher high.
Yep. So they broke above higher high, and now the high is set 41.97, right? We are aware of this level right here. I think we had a little bit lower. I think it was 98 that I had, and we'll look it up. But now they really have to build some value here. I mean, we are in a 3-day balance. So when you guys look at it, this is the 3-day balance here right now. And when you draw this right here, right, for 3 days of volume profile, I'm just going to go extend it for a moment. So if you guys look at this here, when you draw the 3 days, let me make sure I'm not grabbing this day here. This is your first sig here. So you really have to establish some value above 41.87. It's important that we establish that we can auction higher, that we can find net new buyers, right? So this is 3-day value area high here that I would be definitely aware of, right? I would keep in mind that, anything break above and fail like we did here and now, retest here would be, a bear signal, right? Especially if they're not able to sustain that whole above. They really have to break this higher and, proceed to close there. So PDH will be here at 41.97. And then I would say this level here, what is this? This is, I believe, Thursdays. Yeah, Thursday value area high is still there. I left this just because this is the highest value area high we had. And I'm going to keep it there because eventually, you're going to have to auction higher than this to go there. And I want to see how do we react when we come to the level where you had some long-term sellers come in. And how do we know that there were some long-term sellers is because on TPOs, they showed, single prints access was available. So we know that that's happening there. And anytime when you see access and we go lower, right, that's a really, really good sign that most likely it was triggered by a long-term seller. And if you think about, what happened today, the rally that occurred, was there anyone surprised by it?
No.
Usually when you go above PD value area and come back in, you go to the other extreme.
Yeah, I mean, that was expected, right? And then we had the
So
2-day
really,
value
no,
area low.
not
I think
surprised.
our 2-day value area low at this time was somewhere, this one's picking up the 3-day now. I think our 2-day was around the level where we bounced, 41.55. And I believe, in the watch list, I mentioned that level that we need to be aware of where it was because that's a
Yeah.
2-day balance being set up.
If we
Now
broke
on
above
the
that, you said.
Yeah, that we most likely start running and execute all the way up.
Yeah.
My target was the first target that I was looking for was 78 to 80. And that
Yeah.
was somewhere around here that they hit, right? So they hit this level here at 10
Yeah, they
o'clock
hit
and
a
then,
level before 80, I think, and then
yeah,
kept going.
yeah. So they broke down, they proceeded higher, right? They went about 17 points higher on this nasty price action here, right? And every one of them carried a tail, which somebody was slowing down the auction, right? And now you fell back inside this 2-day value area, 3-day value area, along with the 3-day POC being about 14 points away. Could you expect us to go here and trap more shorts? Yeah, this
Yeah.
would be a pretty good, play for them if they plan on taking this higher. Remember, we are I would say at a 3-year POC, year-to-date POC. The 4140 is here, right? And that's probably not going to change for the rest of the year unless we significantly spend a lot of time and volume below it. I don't see it shifting too much, but
Mm.
we could be wrong, so we'll keep that in mind. As in, if you guys look here, now you have almost like a 2-day value area high here that's stacked. You have this one, and then of course, the 3-day, not VAG, but value area high is a few points above that. So you're really not trying to, I wouldn't play the breakouts on this. I would let them develop some value, let it go to 97, and coming back here would be good. You also have this high volume node that was acting like a little bit of resistance today, but they're able to kind of crush it above. But also note that, they did make some higher highs here. They cleaned this up and then they changed the character here nicely. So it's not as bearish because when you think about this, the volume, let me hide this guy for a second just so I can see. So if you guys look at this POC, I mean, the POCs are about stacked. The value areas highs are stacked, but the value area low shifted higher. What would that tell you?
Value area low shifted.
More value on top in favor of bulls?
Yeah.
Well, the perceived value is not as low as previous days. So the perceived value of low end is shifting. That means their buying points are getting a little bit higher and higher.
Mm.
So if we're able to clear this level, let's say we clear that, 3-day POC here. Let me just draw this again. So if we are able to clean this up, right? So let's say 3-day value area low, would you expect them to not visit the 4139?
Sure.
No, no. If they break this, this is your easy play, guys. And why would this
Yeah.
play be very easy?
Well, there's a
There's
Think
nothing
of
there.
skinny,
Skinny belly.
there's
skinny
skinny belly
belly.
right
They
there.
have a gap that they left underneath, right? They
Yep.
left a little bit of a gap right at the skinny belly. So honestly, they could even complete this tonight. And I don't know if you guys looked at any of the, DXY charts, like I just looked at some on the phone, and some FX stuff. I mean, it looks like they were just, let's say our government was active today.
Yeah. Heard Biden speaking.
Well, I'm talking about money because the amount of swaps and DXY, the way it behaved, is pretty insane. I mean, to do something like this on a day is, this is a pretty decent move. With
Yeah.
everything that's going on, I would think that, we're most likely headed higher because now you have like a clear bull flag, right, building up here. And I don't
Mm.
know, right, what's going to happen with the war and all this stuff, but they need the dollar to strengthen, right? So they want to keep the supply of dollar low, drive the price up. At the same time, they can't crash the market. So it gets a little interesting here. Okay.
So maybe go down a little bit, then bounce.
I would think that if they, this thing drives me crazy. So for me, as long as we're above this 3-day POC, we're okay, right? In terms of this. And even going to the 3-day value area low, would I take a shot taking long between this value and this value? Yeah, most likely I would, right? Would I consider going anywhere long in between here? No, not in the right mind. Would I choose that at all? Based on volume profile, and I would think market profile is going to tell us the same. Is there a chance that they were going to bounce again at 4140? Yes. Can they accumulate here for a long time and more people jump in short and then the market becomes way too short? And then if, let's say, slowly the news and tension of, the macro and the world, the wars, is a little bit less, what do you anticipate those that are hedging to do? If they're hedging with puts and, the dealers are here required to sell, what do you anticipate them to do if some good news start coming out of the war?
go up.
What do they do with their hedges?
Close them.
They closed them.
You
They
close them.
close
Yeah.
them and you get the unwinding effect of the stock market. If I start closing my puts, that means I'm buying back, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then naturally the gamma, right? Whoever's tracking that and stuff is going to start flipping, and eventually won't take much to flip it in a positive territory where the CTs, locals, and dealers have to start net buying again.
Where did you
And then-
say you wouldn't go?
I wouldn't go long in this range below
Long.
41.54 and 41. Here I wouldn't look to bounce in between. I would look closer to 41.38. And then we also have somewhere around, I would say 41.35 would be okay level to look for, but we'll find them.
30,
So now
okay.
when I look at TPOs, I'm gonna go RTH just to make sure that we are looking at the session. And does everybody understand why RTH and TPO and not a volume profile?
No, Shorty, can you explain that, please?
Do you really think hedge funds trade midnight? They spend a lot of time on their charts.
No.
Oh,
They don't, so there's a high chance that they don't, but they could send a lot of volume in a short period of time if they find a partner, right? So that's why I look at volume, not necessarily the market profile, right?
Mm.
Let me make sure that this is right. Yep, this looks good. So who wants to take a stab on the profile today? I'll help you.
where you have unfair highs at the top and at the bottom, kind of bracketing it.
And what did I tell you guys in the class when there's access high and access on the bottom?
Well, I mean, excess, you would think that it's long-term traders entering the market and either buying at prices that they think are really good or selling at prices that they think is at a premium. So, you're just trying to keep it there, I guess, in between.
What's the definition of a normal day?
Trading in the range, a D shape.
When it stays in between the IBL.
Okay, anyone else?
Is it 50% of the IBH?
Tell me more.
Below or
within the
above
I-
the IB.
I think, isn't it like if it's not a trend day, and a trend day is considered to be 200% of the initial balance, so then anything below that?
So you remember we have a normal day, neutral day, and normal variation day. On a normal day, 85% of the range is set when?
IBH.
80% of the initial balance is set between the initial balance, right?
You gotta,
So if you guys look right here,
so it's
you
within the
guys see
IB.
what happens here? So how many points do we have? 28.75, and the whole day carried how many? So let's look. Whole day had 45, and this one carried, let's say 30. 30 divided by 45.
35.
So is that a normal day?
That's a normal day
Normal
because it's not
extended?
two times the IB.
So it's not a normal day. Definitely not a normal day because your extension was a little bit bigger than 15, 15% of the total range.
Mm.
So what type of day is it?
Normal
Normal variation.
variation.
Anyone else?
Typical day.
Okay, it is typical on volume profile. What about market profile? Dumpsty, what do you think?
Sorry, I'm eating.
Stop eating, it's too late.
Man. Normal variation of a normal day.
Why is
No.
it normal? No, be careful. The normal variation is what is the key characteristics to know a normal variation day? The initial
The
balance
half
is
back.
close to
It's skinny.
2x. A normal variation goes to 2x, not more than 2x.
Ah, damn it. I had that written down too somewhere.
So initial balance went up here, right? And I would say that it was not more than 2x, right? Does that make sense to everyone? 2x would have been up here, right? It needed to go 12.
So a normal variation does not go
Is
over
it a neutral extreme day?
the
Because you
two.
broke IBL and then you broke IBH and then you end there
That is
in the
correct.
extreme.
That is correct. You had 2 access points, and I mentioned this a few times today. I don't know if you guys saw it in the chat. I said we have access on the top and we had access at the bottom. And those usually lead that you're gonna auction between those points, right? Until new piece of information is generated by the market news or something comes in and it drives the price higher. This is definitely neutral to bullish extreme day. And Dumpsty, you posted this today, actually. You had a screenshot.
So normal variation day
Yes, it did.
is in between the IBL, IBH, and but does not extend
About 2x.
above 2x. Okay.
That's correct. You'll have this more in a class. I'm just giving you a little bit of like sneak peek.
And Shorty, with this information though, you can't really play it like real time. Would you like play real time during the day as this is developing, or you just use it as like a bias for the next day?
Well, I mean, you can have a bias, but if you can establish the type of initial balance that you have for the day, you can make some decisions, right? So if you think about this, today, initial balance was 28 points. On average, we are at 26 points. Okay. And the max is 43. So I would think that we are most likely going to extend more than the average. And it happened to be a small deviation today, right? So when you had that initial balance set, and then when you break it, there's higher chances that you're going to go higher. And then when I look at the levels around, right, I only was aware of 88 today. No, I'm sorry, I had 98.5. And I believe that was our 3-day value area high from TPOs that we had. If I recall that chart correctly, I'll look at it here.
Shorty, if we extend over
40,
the
4201, I'm sorry, we had. So we had 4201 somewhere around here. And that was the level. So then it gives me an idea where can they extend to, right? If they're pushing a little bit stronger, then it gives you an idea how you can play that, right? I don't use it as a sole information, but if I see that we are opening with the PD value area, right? And we're opening, let's say below PD POC, and I see the IB is fairly tight in the morning, what are the chances of breaking a tight, narrow IB versus a wide one?
Higher.
The chances increase higher, right? So that's the information that I store in back of my head as I'm trading. I'm like, okay, well, we're below POC. I'm a little bearish sentiment, but we are inside the value. So we are accepting this value. So if we tap the PD value area low, and let's say that's within the IB, well, then there's a high chance that if IB is tight, that we can probably break the high of the IB and proceed to value area high. That's one of the examples I would use in my brain, like, to
if we
know what's
go
happening, right?
if we
When you
go
saw,
over
let me just finish this, Cuban.
okay.
So when you saw the access today, and it was the access was created in an L and C period. So the bottom axis was created pretty much, at 10 by 10:30, this was done, right? Then if you see the axis is being created and the axis is right below the POC, so they're defending the POC, most likely they want to shift the price higher, right? And you knew here that we had what? In this case, you had a double distribution day, right? Would you
Mhm.
guys agree?
Yes.
So I'm just giving you how I
B
use it,
shape.
right?
It's a
So
B
you have
shape.
a B-shaped day here, right? With single prints that I talked about last night. And
Yeah.
what did I say once you break these highs of double distribution days? It's in your notes.
Get out of the way.
You want
Probably
to
gonna
get
go
out.
higher.
Yeah.
Most likely you're going to proceed higher, right? And usually this is not true. This is just statistical. If you break down the B shape into two different distributions, usually you're gonna go 50% of this distribution from here. So let me give you an example. You're gonna go from here, you're gonna find the midpoint. So 50 to here, whatever that level is, let's find how many points. Let's see, that is 27 points. Usually you're gonna go 27 points from the previous date. So it should have gone somewhere around here. Typically, that's what they do. They find a double distribution day, you cut it in half. And once you break out that distribution, you go half the length of one node. But that's not I wouldn't write that as a trading. Oh my God, they missed me. It was supposed to go there. No, I'm not gonna trade that if I know that.
Not a
there's
rule of
levels.
thumb.
It's just kind of like a rule of thumb. Like keep it in the back of the pocket.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell is this little circle here. Okay. Yeah, so you had a double distribution day, then you proceeded higher. The value area high is shifting, the POC is shifting. Ideally, if this value area low was above the POC, would be a little bit more confident there, right? And the second piece of this, it's really like an awkward shape profile to me, at least. If you guys look at it, I don't even know what to make out of it. It has like a top. It doesn't really have a singles or doubles here. And then it has a bottom node here. So tomorrow, right, we need to hold this POC here. I would say this level here is going to be fairly important. And it was important today for our breakout. If you guys remember, we were talking about the 4170. You break it, we're probably going to go higher to 78. And that played out decently as well.
Kind of looks like a
What's your row
lower
size at?
This one.
Kind of looks
5.
like a
Okay, thanks.
lowercase b or something like that.
It looks a little odd.
Yeah.
It looks a little odd. The H period killed this, maybe into a double distribution. So right now we're trying to get back outside of this value. We really need to, I would say you want to break this level right here, 41.93, or let's open between 3-day value area high and this, I mean, you could even call it 41.98. Stay here and then break out, because that would give me a little bit more confidence to play the retest of this level. As if we just storm tonight without building any value here, I don't think I could trust it because there's not enough volume there, right? Does that make sense? I really want to see them build time and value in the upper portion of this 3-day balance.
So breaking over the PDH gives you more confidence.
No, guys, that's exactly, I didn't say that. I said I want to see us create some value here before we go, because then this value here would give me what?
Yeah. Okay.
It would give you a high volume node. So I
Yeah.
want to see a high volume node. If you go, that you come back, that you can go bounce and go higher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if they do one of those nasty gap ups like this, it doesn't create a proper build up on support, right? So I just don't know what they're gonna do tonight. Is there any news tomorrow? Maybe.
I guess my question was wrong. I guess my question was to go higher would be over the PDH.
Well, of course, right? I mean, you want to take out the previous day high. We already took the previous day high here, right? We closed above it. Now, you want to sustain that, right? From the ETH perspective, you want to hold the 41.85, whatever the level was.
Yeah.
I think it was here, 41.85. You wanna regain this first, right? And then you want to worry about the next one. So going about 41.85 is all they need now, and build value about 41.87 so you can get out of it. If you come here and you fail at 41.87, most likely you're going to be heading to this 3-day POC. And this could happen tonight. I'll leave some orders for buy 41.63, probably at 66 and 63, and then I'll leave some towards the bottom here. So I'll leave it out.
We're at 78 right now, 79.
We'll be back. We'll be back
Yeah.
to the bottom. Yeah, I think that, because where did this happen? I mean, just think about it. Let's zoom out. Where did the 3-day balance happen last time?
The
Up at
bottom.
the top there.
I mean,
Yeah.
guys, we just had it recently, right? We
Yep.
talked about this one, right? We had the 3, there was a 12, remember, 42.12?
Yeah.
And now we didn't even really have a drastic move down. I wouldn't call this a drastic move down, but we are shifting lower the value, right? So now let's see if they're able to, if they're able to break this value, then most likely they will retest some of the, probably the mean of this value at least, which would be 42.60. So this level here, building value in the upper portion for the breakout is important. If they go above this 41.87 and they fail like they did so far, we're looking more bearish here to visit this 41.63 or whatever we had said for 3-day POC. Okay. So just to summarize, we need to auction higher. We need to hold some value here to see a pop. Over this, I would expect us to have some really strong resistance in this area here. That's your 22 value area high. It's a pretty big level, I would say. We came back for a nice retest here. We bounced off of it previously, very close to it, higher. So now if they come to it, it'll be fireworks again, right? Because it's a huge level in terms of value and acceptance, because 23 is not done yet. So close above here, we look for bullish. I would say if we get inside the previous day value area high here, you can catch 10 points. I mean, this is your, this is your PD value area high. You can catch 10 points, play the 80% rule all the way down, right? 80% rule would be something like this, right? You get inside and you would catch it all the way to this level, right? So that'd be a nice play as well. And you see this prior day POC here, prior to today, is kind of acting as support right now from that P shape, right? They had, I would say, some regular D shape. Now they have the P shape here and extended. So if they're able to hold this overnight, at least here, let me see. If they're able to hold this level here, 41.76 overnight, I would say it would be somewhat bullish for them, especially if they reclaim 85, which seems like they're working on it. So, okay. Yeah, they're trying to push here now and get back inside this little session POC. So losing this, send it to the P. And then if they lose that 3-day POC, most likely you're going to be heading this to 41.54, right?
Oh, I
If
see what
this
you mean
plus
about
this,
the 2022 value area high. Yeah.
okay. I'm going to hide this for a moment, bring back our volume. And this level here is, I mean, this is a pretty big level. I would expect a bounce in this range of any kind. So if you're patient and you wait for this, you're gonna get it. And if they break the range top, guess what? You're not gonna get it. If they break the top of the range and 3-day value high, the odds of this being fulfilled is low. You're looking for bullish retests, right? You would draw your FVP and push that. But if they fail here, I would look for opportunity to go long here, because this is shaping up to be a decent POC. If they come here and they slice it with the big volume down, then you might want to be careful that a long-term seller enter the market. He doesn't care. A long-term seller does not care much about your 3-day balance. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he's in it for,
Yeah.
500,000 points. For
Yeah.
him, whether it's 87 or 54, he does not give a damn, right? So that's why sometimes you see a long-term buyer buying on a previous day value area high, right? So that's why that happens, right? Because you have different time frame people come in and messing up the short-term day-to-day analysis. And if you're not aware of that, that's usually when you get punished.
Bastards.
Okay. All right. So I scheduled a class for Sunday. The Sunday's class is going to be, and if you're not comfortable, based on the scores that you guys took, unless you cheated for some reason, you're only cheating yourself. I feel confident to proceed to the next class of market profile. I think a lot of you guys are understanding the simple stuff like the language, the poor high, the low high, the TPOs. There's more to it, right? And there's some concepts that overlap with volume profiles because obviously those go hand in hand. between defining value. If you guys remember, when if people are buying below value, that's certain type of activity. If people are selling, at the value area low, that's also a certain activity, right? And that means something. And that's the next step that you guys will incorporate, right? On the market profile side, price can only be where in terms of value. Does anyone remember that?
Wait, hold
And
on.
fair value.
Wasn't that the question that had three answers: below,
Yeah,
above, or at value?
balance and imbalance.
Well, I just want to know, where can price be?
Oh God, I knew that.
Accepted or rejected.
Accepted, yes, thank you.
No, but I said, where can price be? Price can't be at.
Within VA, above VA, or below VA.
That's correct. So price can always be above, below, or within. Right? And if people are buying above value, who are they?
Other time traders.
Initiative buyers.
They're initiative buyers. They're buying below the value, selling below the value, they're initiative sellers. If they're buying below the value, that means somebody found a favorable price, and they're called what? Responsible buyers. Just like I offer you guys an iPhone at 200. Well, how many of you guys are waiting for what's called on for Thanksgiving Day, when they have the
Black
sale?
Friday.
Black Friday.
Black Friday.
So that's being a responsible buyer.
Are you guys, anyone waiting for something? I know somebody's usually like, man, I want to buy a TV or something, right? Those people, if they have the urge to wait, they are responsible buyers, because they could go to Best Buy or whatever is nearby and buy a TV, right?
Yeah.
But you're pushing away your, what do you call it, satisfaction, right? By waiting, because you're going to get a better deal. That makes you a responsible buyer.
Waiting for
And
a
the
fair
same-
price.
No, you're waiting for the price to go below a certain level so you can buy it.
Yeah.
So fair price, sure. But you're always looking for a price that's lower than what the norm is. Normal is equilibrium, mean.
Yeah.
If the
Okay.
TV is always selling for 500, and you buy it at 500, did you get a deal? Probably not, right? You
That
need the
being an
price to go
aggressive buyer,
down.
right?
Well, it depends, right? It would need to be like on a bid, right? On a DOM, we need to see if it's above ask, or, are you buying at limit?
Okay.
But that's the value question, right? And those are different type of things that you will identify. And once you start thinking and identifying the chart based on, okay, well, maybe this was an initiative buyer that came in here, right? And then when you add, why do we do volume? Well, volume justifies your trades, right? So when you think about this break here, let's look at 15 minutes. When they broke this, did they break this with volume that's higher than previous? Can you guys look at it and make your assumptions here? Does this look like a confirming volume that demand is really ripping apart? They want to go, the auction is going to go higher?
No.
No.
Okay, well, and then let's take a look at this one here and this one here. So this one here has a long tail, and then this one here has small body but above average volume. And then the
It's
price,
an anomaly.
that's an anomaly, right? It's telling you just candle wise, there's a little bit of absorption. You don't even need footprints to see it. Right?
Yeah.
There's something happening. All things that I teach you is different ways you can notice things. We have something SV on the orbs with shorty targets. It's
Yeah,
stopping
stopping
volume.
volume.
Stopping volume usually means absorption. Right?
Oh, okay.
Well, it's just looking at candles, right? You have more volume, but the price didn't go higher. Well, that means that you absorbed, whether it's buyers or sellers, but depending on where we show up. That's exactly what that is. And now you have footprints to visualize it, right? And on market profile, you have access, right? Single prints to show it. So all these tools that I'm giving you, they give you the ability to identify the same for potential confluence. When you line up levels between market profile, volume profile, and you look at the values, and all those things add up, and you make a conclusion based on the teachings, it's so much easier to trade than it is, I think we should bounce here, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And that's the idea behind it, right? Is you look at the stuff holistically, right? Especially when you're prepping for tomorrow, right? You look at the volume, how is the volume on a daily? Was volume increased on a daily? So you're telling me, that this body candle here with the wide body is driven by this much volume?
No,
It does not add up, right?
no.
Volume wise, this does not make sense, right? But I just don't, it might be like a little short cover rally here, but unless they add a little bit more volume here, I'm not really interested in the game that they're playing. And even on 3 days, even though we're building, we need a lot more volume here to get back in, right? So
Where would
tomorrow-
you have entered on that play? Because it went past that level, so you're thinking, if anything, maybe a SR flip, but then you clearly see the downtrend afterwards.
I'm sorry, which play are you referring to?
Oh,
Wins.
right there, you're showing with the increased volume that went down again. Right there. Yeah, right there. Because it went up above the level and then it tested the.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I would necessarily take it off of the volume, but it does give me a warning sign that we are coming closer to an end of an auction, right? You're slowing down, auction slowing down. Because if the auction is slowing down, if you think about the way mechanism works, if you start auctioning like we did, $100 bill, where does the auction slow down?
The higher prices.
At the top.
When you start when you start asking for more.
As I start asking for more, I don't have as many interested parties to buy, even though the body of the candle maybe has an anomaly, right? Whether you have high volume with the low body, that's called a bearish anomaly. And some people, when you play bearish anomalies, let's say I was to trade this. Let me just take this green off. I'm sorry, it's just driving me crazy. Okay. If I was to trade this just based on candles, right? And I'll probably not trade intraday on 30 minutes. If I was looking this at 5 minutes, right? And I look at this right here. So this candle here, highest volume, what happens to the body?
Yeah.
It's the smallest body. So this one here should give you, man, something's odd. Then if you're to break this auction that was now stalled here, you would need what? You need massive volume to break it, because if the $100 bill at 99.99 was stalling, you really need to make that dollar be worth a lot more than 99.99 for somebody to be interested, right? If I said the $100 bill comes in with the vacation, you guys would start bidding more, right?
Yeah.
What is that value? So here, when I look at it, I'm like, hey, that's the same product we're selling here, right? ES at 41.95, and you're not really interested. You have a little pickup in volume, and then you have, from candle formation, you have tweezer top. So if you're going to short something on 5 minutes, for me, it would be that they need to reoffer. They need to basically sell again below this price here, right? Below this. They would need to take that out for me to continue. I'm a day trader, so there's something wrong with this picture being sold off at 355. What is that?
It's end of day.
What does time do?
It needs confirmation in the next cycle to confirm whether it is really.
Well, and we didn't have a spike, but time regulates opportunity. I have
Yeah.
5 minutes of opportunity to make it work before the cash session's closed. So for me, is this enough for me to, kind of go heavy deep here at the end of the day? No trader, no professional trader is going to go heavy on this short side here. Would any trader, if, let's say we had 2 hours left here, would somebody potentially, would I take this short and drive it to this POC that's on the bottom right
Absolutely.
here? Oh yeah,
Yes.
of course. I would drive that, but the opportunity and the time would tell me that probability of this setup working 5 minutes before the bell, low. Probability of this setup working, if I had more time, If you shorted this, let's say right here at 41.86 and you put the stop loss at 91, that's 5 points. That means you need how many points? From 86, you need 15 points down in order for the trade to work.
Mm.
So 15 points would be somewhere around here. And now when you think about it, we need 6 more points to make that trade successful. But look how long it took. So volume wise, I would have shorted here, but just the odds of it working
Yeah.
not in the favor. Does that help answer? I wouldn't take that trade. Does that help answer your question?
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
I think it's the time frame that would stop me in this case, right? And today it just looked very, very melty as we were pushing higher, right? They had these bursts of candles coming in. So, and there was not a lot of volume, guys. When I looked at the volume today, it was pretty pathetic, right? Highest body volume here. And look at the breakout here. Not that aggressive, right? And then, they came here, they stalled a little bit, and then they danced here. Pretty much was boring from here till the close. So that was about 1:30, I think they entered. Okay. So who wants to summarize key points for tomorrow? Bullish points, bearish points. CK, go ahead.
Sorry, stepped away. Give me 1 second. So, first of all, the POC, if we reach there, that's a 2x POC now on ETH. A retest of that from the top is definitely a go long, which is 4163.25. A better option would be go down and then come back, which is look below and fail. That would be a high probability setup with a very small stop loss. And then you can drive it all the way up to PD value area high 84. I would definitely trim around 76.75, which is in the way because that's a POC from Thursday, and that's also a 3-day balance level, like a high volume node in there.
Hold on, what's the level that you mentioned? Sorry, I'm looking 41 what?
So I said long at 62.75.
That's correct.
And trim at 79, 76-ish range, but ultimate target is 86.75, which is the 1 sig of 3 days.
That's correct. That's really good analysis. So your bullish point will be 41.62. Below that, most likely you're going to hit 41.54 for a cool 8 points. Below the 3D value area low, this is going to be crucial for bulls not to lose tomorrow. If they do lose this, we can clean up the bottom here, right? And I believe we said we had a poor high on this day here, or maybe not. We'll check. But most likely they're going to retest this 41.22 if they lose this 3-day value area low. So you have a lot to think about here, right? You can probably play it multiple ways. You play 2 contracts, trim 1, then trail 50% of the gains on this one, or a quarter, right? That would give you 1.25 in terms of profit. So you're watching this to play it more statistically so you capture the move. So I'd watch, break below here, trim, and trail, right? Especially if the structure tells you, right, lower highs and some key resistance points. I would trail that, see if I can catch this 22. First instinct is that the PD value high TPO at 41.71 is going to be somewhat important, right? So I would think that they're going to try to bounce that there. And I identified it here for you guys. Let's see. Let me just hide this. Actually, why is it?
PD value area highs at 84.
Yeah, I have 80. I was looking, why did I have TPO here? Maybe I had the wrong level. Okay. Because this level here is fairly important. I don't know if you guys remember 78 to 70, 78 to 80. Fairly important level here. And there's a lot of stacking here. If you guys look 81, 84, 86. You really need to clear this area, right? You need to clear this, and then if you come back, you can take this, right? You can take it here above this PDH if they're able to kind of, designate this, give you this, then you can catch this move up to the here. This would be a long here, this would be a long, but we need to see this high taken out. If they fail below this 81, you know, can they drop all the way to 4170 here to this TPO POC? Yeah, definitely. That would be a good target to have. That's about 10 points here. So that's another play you could have, right? And if you identify these plays and call this scenario 1, certain scenario 2, it might start working, right? An ultimate target, if this fails, the odds of the 62 hitting here are super duper high. The 3-day POC is going to be a magnet, right? Magnetism is just going to drive it. The liquidity of this 3-day is going to be driving the price lower because there's going to be a lot of what on the bid side here. What happens at the big levels on the bid?
Limit buyers.
Limit buyers. Are they responsible buyers or initiative buyers there?
Responsible.
Responsible.
Yeah, so you're anticipating the buyers are going to come in. So if you're watching a footprint, you're looking to see numbers here and price not going below that. And as long as the price stays there, that's going to give us a clue that somebody's respecting this level. We are very close to 4140 here. So that tells me that maybe this guy or whoever or lady is lifting their bid higher in anticipation of a move, right? Remember, last time, JP Morgan, I don't know if you guys recall, but I do. They were saying the world's ending last time we came to October lows. And you can find articles and look at it. When we were at the October lows, the guy said the world is pretty much done. Like when we are here. And we ran from there another almost 1,000 points. And now he's saying the world's ending.
Shorty, on that, for this downfall, to say call it as a meaningful swing low, would you look for an excess on a in a particular day or week, or a rotation back and forth like it has started now? Would that be also a crucial sign of a swing low being put in, or at least start to bottom
Well,
after
I
this
would agree with
400
that,
point
right?
downfall?
I would agree that the intermediate, I guess, low has been put in. Unless they break this 4140 with, you know, volume, I don't see them cracking this anytime soon. Unless some data comes out, right, which we can't control, the binary events. If something bad comes out, I think this holds and we will retrace to 4,300. My target would be that we go here. We're going to test ultimately this supply right here somewhere.
Shorty, if we go over,
Apple
if we
ER.
if we extend over 2x on the TPO, would that be called an extended variation?
That would just be a trend day.
Trend day. Okay. Thank you.
Did I answer your question, CK, there?
Yes,
I
thank you.
I think the short low would be put in, and I think this is the short low, but let's see. I can't say
And
I'm bullish till I see a break of the range, but you know,
currently
serious
they
volume.
are kind of building value inside previous week VA, but I was really looking for a stopping volume, an excess of on 30 minutes somewhere, because that will definitely show presence of that long-term buyers on that 4140 level, which was not there. That's why I
Yeah,
was like,
so I
what's
mean,
going on?
if you look here on a TPO on 3 days, right? When you look at a 3-day TPO, let's see, let me change it to 4 here for a second. Why is it shifting left?
You got, it's a funky math or whatever. I was trying to get it to move to.
Oh God.
Yeah, it doesn't let you pick your 3 days or your 4 days.
Why can't they make an FVP TPO? Why is it so difficult? It's the same fucking shit. You changed it.
E managers are all the same. It's not that hard.
It's not that bad. Come on. They're changing a variable. Come on, don't piss me off. The only thing here is that you don't have access on 3 days so far. You had this put in, and there was a lot of volume on this CK here. If you look at this, There's a
Yeah, but it
decent
was
chunk
still
of
a poor
volume here.
high, poor low.
No,
That's what
I
the issue
agree.
was.
I agree. If there was access here, like a little bit of single prints, man.
Right,
But
that
that
would be
doesn't
amazing.
mean,
Yes.
but that doesn't mean that if they come in here now and you know, they have something to do here.
Yeah,
They,
clean it up.
they have to
Mhm.
come clean this up.
Mhm.
If they come clean this up, and then we see this line here in the body, you know, poof, like that.
Yep, that's a confirmation. Absolutely.
That was going to be
Yes.
our confirmation to start swinging some calls for, I would say, December on SPY and SPX, whatever you
That's
guys think.
exactly what I'm looking for. I started with SPXL and I'm too
Yeah.
scared to go into call right now.
Well, I grabbed some Tesla here, and I don't know if anyone looked at it, but there's a reason why I grabbed this. Anyone have a clue?
I tried to
Kramer,
find a reason
Kramer
but
said,
failed. Yes, that's a
Say
good
it
reason.
again.
Kramer said so.
It was Kramer.
Hmm.
Okay. You guys see the reason now?
No, could you zoom in?
You'll see great.
The POC.
So I took the low to the high, right? I would say structurally, this was, you know, lower high. We cleaned it up. Then we made a higher high. We failed at this supply, which is what I'm looking for, basically ES to do. Similar setup here. If they can fail this range here, right, on ES, similar. I'm looking for a bounce now again here. We are at the POC that took for a long time to figure out here, right? So look,
Yeah. And
you're
at the
right at it.
POC.
And I mean, just look at the volume. Is this pretty heavy selling for this type of candle?
Yeah. I think so.
I
No.
don't think so.
No.
No.
I don't think so. When I look at this candle here, I mean, it's very
Oh
close to
no.
volume. I would
No,
call
no,
it relatively close in volume between these 2 days. You have a small body. This could definitely be a trap because all these people that trade prior day low breakouts right here, right? And not knowing that there's a POC that lasted, you know, from here to here of 200 days, POCs here. I will take my chances on the calls on Tesla when this happens. And you guys know I was always, not always bearish, but I look for ways to short Tesla. I don't know why, I just enjoy shorting it.
I think today it was a Panasonic news. I think
What
that
type?
was,
What
yeah, like,
about Panasonic?
yeah, Panasonic mentioned that they are reducing their battery output. They said local, but that was for Japanese market, looks like, and it's a high-end vehicles, the Model X and S, not for the low-end one.
I guess Panasonic makes their batteries or something.
Yeah, like they mentioned that is in Japan, and looks like that is for the higher end vehicles, but higher end vehicles does not form majority of their the sales volume.
Okay. Well, that could be misleading, maybe a little bit.
That's what I'm thinking. Probably like they are sending some news, pushing out, and then
Yeah.
go back higher.
I'm thinking if we're able to clear this 202 here, we're gonna be in the money within 10 days here. So I think I paid 333 for each. I got only 3. Put $1,000 in there and see if I can make 200%. That's decent money on a swing. Even if I lose 500, that's okay. I can handle it. Because everybody's too short here, in my opinion. But let's see how they play it out. And you're too short at a 200-day POC. That's probably not the best place to be short. At least not in my books, but hey, let them figure that out.
Shorty, check out NQ.
49 EMA too.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the 49 EMA, I would not buy it.
Yeah, your money.
Guys, I'm kidding about these EMAs. Don't take me seriously. Care less about Dumpsty and his EMAs. I'm sure there's people that use 49 EMA. Sounds cool, bro. the level NQ has to break is right here. You really have no interest until this breaks and we hold above it. Why is that?
Three days range we need to break.
Anyone else?
From balance to imbalance.
Yeah, you have a balance that's leading to imbalance, and then basically on lowercase b's or upper b's, right? If you're able to regain this value area low of this level here, that there's a high chance you're going to be pushing for this level here, right? For I would say the POC level, which is 50 points away. And if they're able to crack that, then most likely you're going to be looking, because you know on these lower skinny Bs that the top is going to be always, you know, non-existent. And look at the volume node here. I mean, there's nothing there. So at least you know you hop over that, there's a high chance you're at least pushing to 14,606. So from here, that's 150 points. A lot of shorts would start covering here. And if they start covering, who's to say that they can't push this all the way to this top here and drive it all the way to 14,785? And at that point, when the late bulls come in, they would start buying here. And what do you think the other people would start doing when they arrive here? The market goes up and then looking to.
Stop the buying.
So how do you stop buying? Is that you
Start selling.
they're gonna start they're gonna start selling. They're gonna meet an opposite response from these guys that sold off and caused the imbalance KJ just mentioned. So if this was the balance, you're driving to imbalance and then you're coming back here. These people are looking to stop the buying. They're gonna give you everything
Selling.
they got.
Yeah.
So I anticipate this to work out sooner than later here. And tomorrow, I don't see any news, Dumpsty. I don't know if you have a different calendar. I didn't see anything. I guess the wages maybe in the morning. That's about it. I didn't see anything that's worth PMI at 9:45.
European CPI, 6 a.m. pre-market.
And then a 50.
Consumer and consumer confidence is the only other 3-star, and that's at 10 Eastern, U.S.
So we could see I want to see a run. Let them drive this price as much as they can. I mean, if they can drive it to 14,785, beautiful. Please drive to that. But let's see what happens, right? I think we have the levels, and this is a key level for you on the bullish side for NQ. You want to see them take this out, right? And then if you look at, let me go Control Z a few times. We got happy with the drawing tool. And if you, all these lines are killing me. So now if you guys just look at this, right? I mean, if you look at the 3-day POC here, you can do the same thing you did on ES, right? And look where the POC comes in to be. So anything in this level, I don't know how many times this level paid today, by the way. Did anyone play 37? Like, I don't know how many times I took 37 today. Anytime 37 came up, lost, regain, I was in.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good
Yeah, I
level
remember that.
to play. So it does look like a bear flag, and I'm sure our friend Jake State Farm is gonna point that out, or a different bull flag here. But they're shifting the value. They're making higher highs on value, right? I wouldn't say the volume is just there yet, right? Because the volume is starting to pick up a little bit on buying, right? On these spikes in the morning. But tomorrow, you know, if you're able to take the previous day high, build value above this value area high that we're kind of struggling with right now at 14,431, you can catch about, you know, call it 20 points there to 50, right? Reclaim this, then you're most likely headed to go somewhere around here, 14.5 even, or right around that level, a couple of points below. I didn't see any excess on NQ on my charts. I don't know if you guys have it. I saw a normal distribution that you have a poor high and a poor low. And usually when you have, I would say, a really good distribution of D-Day, right? There's a high chance that you can clear the top fail and clear the bottom, and then you would have what type of day? You would most likely get access on the top. You would most likely get access on the bottom here.
Neutral center.
Yeah, most likely get a neutral. Okay. But
so.
tomorrow's level, I think this is gonna be important. That see them, 31 to 48 is gonna be important. You wanna seek them take this out as a first level. They need to take this out here. They need to hold at every cost this POC here. Losing, well, I hate when levels line up with the even numbers. It drives me crazy.
Hmm.
I just can't look at it. I have to draw the zone just because I'm OCD when it comes to it. Because all I think about is that guy that's waiting. Oh my God, they broke 14.4. So let's see. So if we do break that, I would anticipate that we go back all the way to 14.343. Don't write out this whole area. The way you play this is when this is lost and they regain it, that's bullish, right? And they did it today a couple of times, guys. They lost the level, they came back. They went above and lost it, right? So now they're still making, this is a higher low here. This is a higher low. This is a higher low. Right now we have a reversal where you have a lower high and a lower low, lower high and lower low. So it would take some serious buying to reverse this now here.
Yeah,
So
we're
you're
making lower lows right now.
Yep. So you're watching this to see kind of what happens, right? And I don't know where we are in the ETH. We'll turn it on for a second here.
Just
Oh.
broke.
Well, man, we're about to go to this level. No, I might just stay around. Is there a way to turn this off, Dumpsty, when you enable this damn drawing tool?
Yeah, just don't turn it on.
Thanks. It just drives me crazy, man.
Shorty, really quick, out of curiosity's sake, can you take a look at SPY really quick? There's this weird 5-minute candle that came up at 10:25. It's like a massive pin bar on ES. Of course, you don't see it, but like I was like wondering what that was.
Wow.
Is some kind of like anomaly or some glitch?
Ooh. Wow, that's a misprint. You see the access I'm buying?
Yeah,
We
but
got
like,
our access. I was about to say that.
No, that's called a misprint on SPY.
yeah,
Not
so
an
it's not
ES.
real, right?
Sometimes they do some weird shit on the auction like this. They can execute it so quick that it can happen, but it's illegal. It's called spoofing, but if that spoofing order gets caught, I would have to look at the tape, honestly, to see what happened. If anyone has a replay of tape, I don't even know how to enable that. If you can go back to 10:25, it might be worth looking into to see how the tape played out. That's a weird misprint on SPY. Because we never broke the bottom of, what is this, C here? It's so funny though, the A and B on SPY, when you look at it here, pretty much set 85% of the range on SPY today. You guys see that? I thought we were gonna have on ES, I thought we were gonna have a pioneer range today, pretty much all done in A, but that did not work out.
Pioneer range.
It's just a name when your range is set in the first 30 minutes.
Got it.
They're really rare. They happen, but not a normal occurrence. All right, guys. Well, I scheduled the class. The class will be a little bit longer for Sunday, just so you guys know, because we're gonna do 30 minutes of stock scan that we put in the Google Sheet, right, for the long-term portfolios that I monitor. I'm gonna go over that and see kind of what do we have. From what I'm seeing, there's a handful of items that have been on my wish list that are coming up to a level I'm interested. One of the main ones I'm not missing this time is Clorox. Something's odd here, right? I mean, if you guys look at this selling here that's coming in, this is the level that I said last time I'm buying, and I'm going to be buying it most likely tomorrow. If I can see that there's any volume here that looks a little bit in my favor, right? So we had this volume here, right, that drove this up here, and they basically bought a lot here. So let me hide this. Look at this. This is kind of what CK was talking about earlier. You know, you're looking to see that you have some stopping volume here, that you have excessive buyers come in, and you see here, they tested, they saw it, and they're like, hey, we can get it cheaper. So now they're driving people lower, because look what we broke with this. We broke a major support, double bottom is broken. So this is called a market makers pattern, right? So you can expect some new buyers to come out here soon. And you might have to buy some wipes, Clorox.
Earnings in a minute, day
So
or two.
that candle that CK was talking about, they
They got
pushed,
earnings on the first.
they pushed the price higher, right?
Their estimates negative. I don't know how this company does on EPS, but negative 243 here.
Significant IT breach will impact earnings.
Hold on, they got hacked?
I don't know. I'm just looking it up because I know you're going to ask about it.
Well, yeah, that there's from a little birdie that I know. Remember last time I mentioned to you guys about hacks, and all of a sudden all the hacks started happening?
Mm-hmm.
There's something going on with the banks and hacks. So if I was you guys and you bank online, I would probably change some passwords and add some two-factor authentication to it. There's some weird stuff going on with banks.
Net sales are expected to decrease by 28%. What?
Why would the net sales decrease? Because of COVID?
The hack.
You're not kidding about the hack.
Let me check the chat.
Sabotage sale affected operations. Oh, I know. Yeah, I've heard about this group. Let's just say I know a few companies that got hit. Oh wow. I'll text my friend right now. I'll check into this. I'm Googling something on the side. I just told him I'm looking to buy some shares, but I need more information on the breach. Like, how serious is this? Because if they're impacting your supply chain, man, where the fuck did they go? How deep did it go? But anyways, I'll just keep an eye. We'll find some gems. Clorox XLF is at a really interesting point here. COVID highs retest on the money here. It'll be interesting to see what we get here. All right, guys. Well, that'll be it for me. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I'll be live, and we'll go from there.
Later, man.
Thank you, Shorty.
You.